Ashe, and welcome to another special episode of our Mandatory Mental Liberation series, produced by our esteemed elder Baba Jelani Bamani Dembe, the brilliant founder of Majestic Mind Matters University. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin, for this new episode. The necessity of the Mandatory Mental Liberation series at Majestic Mind Matters University lies in our focus on serving our melanin-rich culture nation. By addressing the importance of knowledge of self to produce greater self-awareness and advocating for our mental liberation, especially for our precious melanin-rich culture children, our messages aim to combat the enduring effects of generational mental enslavement stemming from the historical trauma of the chattel enslavement of the ancestors. Our initiative seeks to empower us to break free from these harmful and unfavorable legacies and cultivate a deep-rooted sense of self-identity and unwavering resilience. In a world where words carry weight, these terms hold a history of oppression and discrimination. Our melanin-rich culture nation has not given up on the fight for liberation. We know that terms like Black or brown people, people of color, perpetuate stereotypes and homogenize our melanin-rich culture people. In this message, it will only be used to maintain clarity for those who are not yet up to our melanin-rich culture standards. By embracing indigenous terms like Alkebulan, this name means mother of mankind, in various African languages such as Akuyu, Swahili, and Kemet, referring to ancient Egypt, and rejecting the terms Africa or African, these oppressive terms, which are unknown to many, we are reclaiming our melanin-rich culture narratives and asserting our royal cultural pride. Our melanin-rich culture nation uses terms like chattel enslavement instead of slavery, and the enslavers rather than masters or slave owners, to highlight the brutal and dehumanizing nature of historical and systemic oppression. The term chattel enslavement emphasizes the objectification of the ancestors as property, rather than acknowledging them as humans. Referring to oppressors as the enslavers instead of masters or slave owners shifts the focus to the injustice and violence perpetrated by those in power. These terms accurately reflect the systemic exploitation and inhumanity faced by our melanin-rich culture communities throughout history, challenging traditional narratives that downplay the severity of these atrocities. Knowing the power of language in shaping global societal perceptions and challenging systemic racism is our first step to true liberation. Now, let's get started with this very special message titled, Empowering Our Melanin-Rich Culture Mothers, a Tribute to Strength. In our melanin-rich communities, it is crucial for us to understand and honor the significance of motherhood. Motherhood is not just a biological or social role, but a spiritual and cultural one that shapes the identity and values of our people. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it is important for us to remember and celebrate the traditions that have sustained us for generations. One of the reasons why it is crucial for us to honor motherhood in our communities is the historical significance of mothers as the foundation of our culture. Throughout our history, mothers have played a central role in preserving our traditions, passing down knowledge, and nurturing future generations. It is through the love and guidance of mothers that our cultural identity is reinforced and our values are instilled. By acknowledging and honoring the sacrifices and contributions of mothers, we affirm the importance of our heritage and strengthen the bonds that connect us as a community. Additionally, recognizing and celebrating motherhood in our communities can have a positive impact on the well-being of individuals and families. In many melanin-rich communities, mothers are often the primary caregivers and nurturers, providing emotional support, guidance, and stability to their children and families. By acknowledging the importance of mothers and the work that they do, we can create a supportive environment that values and uplifts the contributions of women in our society. Furthermore, understanding the significance of motherhood in our communities can help us cultivate a sense of collective responsibility towards one another. Motherhood is not just a personal or familial experience, but a communal one that involves the support and collaboration of the broader community. By coming together to honor and support mothers, we can strengthen the bonds of solidarity and create a network of care and support that benefits us all. When we recognize the interconnectedness of our lives and the importance of working together, we can build a resilient and thriving community that uplifts and empowers everyone. In our communities, where the impact of historical injustices and systemic inequalities continue to shape our lives, it is especially important for us to prioritize and uplift motherhood. Melanin-rich mothers often face unique challenges and obstacles, from economic hardships to social stigmas, that can affect their well-being and the well-being of their families. By acknowledging the resilience and strength of melanin-rich mothers, we can challenge harmful stereotypes and narratives that undermine their worth and value. When we center the experiences and voices of melanin-rich mothers in our discussions and actions, we can create a more inclusive and equitable society that empowers all individuals to thrive. The celebration and honoring of motherhood in our melanin-rich communities is not just a tradition, but a necessity. Motherhood represents the foundation of our culture, the heart of our families, and the strength of our communities. By recognizing the importance of mothers in shaping our identities, supporting our well-being, fostering collective responsibility, and challenging systemic inequalities, we can create a more just, vibrant, and resilient society for us all. Let us embrace and cherish the beauty and power of motherhood in all its forms, for it is through the love and wisdom of mothers that we find strength and inspiration to build a better future for ourselves and our children. As a melanin-rich community, it is crucial for us to understand the significance of cultural preservation through practices such as naming ceremonies. These ceremonies are not simply rituals, but rather they hold deep cultural, spiritual, and communal importance that shapes our identity as a people. By upholding and honoring these traditions, we ensure that our cultural heritage and values are passed down to future generations. One of the key reasons why naming ceremonies are so important for our community is cultural preservation. Our ancestors have passed down these traditions for centuries, and it is our responsibility to carry them forward to the next generation. Naming ceremonies are a way for us to connect to our roots, to honor our ancestors, and to continue the legacy of our culture. By participating in these ceremonies, we actively preserve our cultural practices and values for the future. Furthermore, naming ceremonies often have a strong spiritual or religious significance in many cultures within our community. These ceremonies are not just about giving a child a name, but they are also about blessing and protecting the newborn. They are a way to connect the child to their ancestors, to their heritage, and to their community. By upholding these spiritual practices, we instill a sense of faith and connection to something greater than ourselves and our children. In addition to the spiritual aspect, naming ceremonies also serve as a way for our community to come together and bond. These ceremonies bring families and friends together to celebrate the birth of a child. They provide a space for loved ones to offer support and well wishes to the baby and parents. In a world where individualism is often emphasized, naming ceremonies remind us of the importance of community and the strength that comes from coming together in times of joy and celebration. The names given to children during these ceremonies also hold special significance. They are not chosen randomly, but rather they reflect the child's heritage, values, and aspirations. By upholding these naming traditions, we help instill a sense of pride and identity in our children. Through their names, our children learn about their roots, their culture, and the values that are important to our community. This sense of identity and pride is crucial for nurturing confident and grounded individuals who understand and appreciate where they come from. Lastly, in a world where cultural erasure is a real threat, it is essential for us to actively preserve and uplift our traditions through practices like naming ceremonies. Our cultures and traditions are often marginalized and erased in mainstream society, and it is up to us to assert our presence and resist assimilation. By continuing to hold naming ceremonies and passing down our cultural practices, we ensure that our voices are heard and our identities are recognized. Naming ceremonies are not just about giving a child a name. They are about cultural preservation, spiritual connection, community bonding, identity formation, and resistance against cultural erasure. As a melanin-rich community, it is crucial for us to uphold and honor these traditions to ensure that our cultural heritage and values are sustained for generations to come. By embracing our naming ceremonies, we celebrate our past, empower our present, and pave the way for a strong and vibrant future for our community. As mothers of melanin-rich children, it is crucial for us to educate our young people about the significance and symbolism behind naming ceremonies in our culture. These ceremonies hold deep cultural and spiritual importance, serving as a way to connect individuals to their roots and heritage. By understanding the meaning behind naming ceremonies, our children can develop a sense of pride and identity in their cultural background. We must encourage our families to continue practicing and celebrating naming ceremonies as a way to honor our cultural heritage. These ceremonies are a way for us to pay homage to our ancestors and honor the traditions that have been passed down through generations. By actively participating in naming ceremonies, we are preserving our cultural identity and ensuring that these traditions continue to thrive. It is also important for us to document and preserve the traditions and rituals associated with naming ceremonies for future generations to learn from and continue. By recording these ceremonies, we are able to pass down the knowledge and significance of these cultural practices to our children and grandchildren. This ensures that our traditions are not lost or forgotten, but rather continue to be cherished and celebrated for years to come. We must involve younger generations in the planning and execution of naming ceremonies in order to pass down the knowledge and skills needed to carry on the tradition. By including our children in the preparation and organization of these ceremonies, we are teaching them the importance of these traditions and instilling in them a sense of responsibility to uphold them in the future. This hands-on experience allows our children to actively participate in and learn from the process of hosting a naming ceremony. It is essential for us to incorporate naming ceremonies into educational curriculums to ensure that students are exposed to and understand the cultural importance of these ceremonies. By including these traditions in school curriculum, we are providing our children with a comprehensive understanding of their cultural heritage. This education helps to foster a sense of appreciation and respect for our traditions and rituals, ensuring that they are valued and upheld in future generations. Furthermore, we must encourage community engagement and participation in naming ceremonies to create a sense of unity and continuity within our culture. By bringing our community together to celebrate these traditions, we are fostering a sense of connection and belonging among our people. Community involvement in naming ceremonies strengthens our cultural identity and creates a shared sense of pride in our heritage. In conclusion, as mothers of melanin-rich children, it is crucial for us to educate, encourage, document, involve, incorporate, and engage in naming ceremonies to ensure the preservation and celebration of our cultural heritage. By instilling in our young people the significance of these traditions, we are empowering them to carry on our rich cultural legacy. Through active participation and community involvement, we are creating a sense of unity and continuity within our culture, ensuring that our traditions continue to thrive for generations to come. Let us come together as a community to honor and cherish our cultural heritage through the celebration of naming ceremonies. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin. We trust that this very special message has expanded your understanding through the insights shared by our highly esteemed producer, Elder Baba Jelani Bomani Dembe, founder of Majestic Mind Matters University, in our Mandatory Mental Liberation Series special message. Remember this, it is essential to honor the ancestors. We have a unique connection to the ancestors. They endured many unwarranted struggles, preserved our melanin-rich culture, and passed down invaluable wisdom through many generations. By honoring the ancestors, we pay honorable tribute to our roots and draw great strength and much-needed inspiration from the unwavering resilience and royal legacy that has paved the way for our present and future generations. Ancestral reverence is a powerful way for us to continually uphold our own melanin-rich identity, heritage, and cultural legacy. Here is an ancient Alkebulan proverb to keep in mind. If you think you are too small to make a difference, you have not spent the night with a mosquito. Remember this as well, whenever you are in the presence of anyone, saying, "They don't see color," it actually means, "They don't see you." We acknowledge and honor the indigenous name of our glorious continent as Alkebulan. This name means Mother of Mankind in various African languages such as Akuyu, Swahili, and Kemet, referring to ancient Egypt and rejecting the terms Africa or African. As royal members of our melanin-rich culture nation, we must strive for knowledge of self for greater personal awareness, Always treat yourself kindly and seek to live a totally awesome and gloriously fulfilling melanin-rich culture. Life. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. So, like, subscribe to stay updated, and share this very special melanin-rich culture link with everyone that you care about and that really cares about you and all of yours as well. And thank you for listening to this enchanting special message titled, Empowering Our Melanin-Rich Culture Mothers, a Tribute to Strength. Stay woke. Ashe.